Hello, and welcome to the World We Live In podcast. I'm your host, Eric Patterson. Alongside me is my sister, Erin. Join us as we explore the amazing, mysterious aspects of our planet's cultures, history, and future trends. Erin, what's going on?
Long time.
Long time.
Long time. I have seen you,
yes.
so I can't say long time no see, but happy to be back.
Always happy to be back. We do have a special guest in the studio today. We have my buddy Sandman from Parareality. What's going on,
Turn
brother?
up.
Hey,
Nice
glad to be here. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, nice mic you got there.
Yeah, thanks. It's yours.
Looks like the one I use.
It's yours.
I knew it looked familiar.
Yeah.
Sweet. How you been?
I've been good, man.
Yeah.
Started a new job about a month ago. Same company, just new position.
Yeah.
Getting paid really good money to do a whole lot of nothing. So
And that is what we like to hear.
yeah,
That's good.
It's taken me
That's
a long
good.
time to get to this point in my life.
I was just say you've had some intense careers, so I'm happy for you.
Yeah. It's a government job, so
Yeah.
you know,
That's good.
not as. It's better than my job that I had when I worked for the government previously, as far as salary, but not as interesting as I had, because my first government job, I had to have a top secret clearance and stuff. So
Yes.
you know, I can't talk about it
For sure.
For sure. But this job is nothing like that at all.
It's the opposite of that, from what I've heard.
Well, you know, I'm getting paid really good money, and so far I'm doing a whole lot of nothing, and yesterday, not yesterday, but last week, like the whole department was gone except for me. So I'm just sitting there, like,
Oh my goodness.
guess I'll just do whatever today.
Yeah,
You know?
for real.
I mean, I had stuff planned, you know,
Yeah.
but for the most part, I was just chilling, you know. So
Good for
like
you.
it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Yeah, well, I've been over on Parareality a couple times recently.
Yeah.
Since
Yes.
your schedule's freed up on the weekends, we've been able to hit some more consistent dates.
Love
So,
it. I love the consistency.
Yes.
Yeah,
yes.
that's been nice to listen to while I work. So
Yeah, totally.
it's been a nice get me through the afternoon.
And by the way, thanks yesterday for letting me know that there was only 7 minutes
Yeah.
of the last podcast that uploaded.
Yeah, I pulled it up. I was like, oh, yeah, I'm going to listen to and shout out to the Hush Hush Society Conspiracy Hour.
Yeah, those dudes were awesome.
Yeah, good conspiracy podcast. Yeah, I was like, 7 minutes. That does not seem right.
It seemed like we talked for longer than that.
Yeah.
Yeah, sometimes my computer program, even though I recorded everything, when I was downloading the audio file to the hard drive, for some reason, every once in a while, it just like says, "Oh, I'm only going to do so many minutes," and if you don't watch it, then it's gone, and you just don't know, you know. So I wasn't paying attention and just rushed through the upload process, and
Damn.
next thing you know, 7 minutes of audios. Yeah, but yeah, thanks for that.
Yeah,
so I
for
had
sure.
to went up there and
For
fixed
sure.
it real quick. Like,
Yeah, I saw that. Cool. Aaron.
So much. We don't even have time to talk about it.
No,
all.
we don't.
Well, you know,
we don't.
I am super excited to be here, mainly because you owe us steak dinners. And,
Yes.
I'm
I've
looking
heard.
forward to that. Yeah.
I've heard this many times.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, yeah. It's true.
It is true.
And like I said, it'll be a paycheck, but we'll do it.
Are we going to STK or where are we going?
Yeah. Do we get to choose where we go, or
Or is this it's like a Carrabba's night or whatever?
Hey,
Carrabba's?
It's just the
pasta.
first thing that popped in my head. But,
I don't know. Steak.
well, I was actually just talking about like the best steakhouses in Nashville, and I swear it's E3 Chop House.
I've heard E3 is really good. Yep.
And the only other location is in one of Eric and I's beloved towns in Colorado.
Steamboat? Mm-hmm. Really?
There's only two
E3 Chop
locations.
House.
Last time I looked at their website, so
Yeah,
Okay,
it's
sweet.
off over by Vanderbilt.
Oh, that's right close to where I work.
Yeah.
Surprised
No,
I
it
hadn't
is.
heard
It's
about
like
it.
right down the road from where you work. Yeah.
E3. Okay.
yeah, it's on the
check
corner
that out.
of 21st and Wedgwood.
Wow. Yeah, that is real close to where I
Yeah,
work.
it is fabulous, but it is disgustingly expensive. But I mean, it was like the best meal I've probably had
Nice.
that I can remember. So, Shout out Pat for that. But yeah, that's we can go there. Sure.
Yeah, sure.
Let's do it.
Great.
Okay.
Yeah.
Make a
Better than all the options you gave. So.
Make a reservation.
Yeah. Make a reservation. But since you're paying, money's no object for me
Right.
and Eric. It's,
Right.
You know,
Yeah, just
what's
get
the
them-
most expensive thing on the
Exactly.
on the menu?
Uh-huh.
We'll have 2 of those, please.
Yep.
Make it
I
3.
the other day I like woke up. My mom texted me and was like, "Are you on your way to work?" And I was like, "Yeah, unfortunately." And she was like,
Unfortunately.
"Oh, be grateful that you have a job." I was like, "No, I am. I just think I would prefer to not work and make money." And she's like, "Well, you and everyone else."
Yeah,
but it was
passive
just
income.
like,
Yeah.
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 So happy that you're
Yeah.
found a balance there.
I'll never forget, I had a friend of mine that I worked with, and he told me one time, he said, "A poor man works for his money, and a rich man's money works for him."
This
And
is true.
I am neither one of those things. Thank God I'm not poor, not
Yes.
anymore.
Mm-hmm.
But neither am I rich. But like I said, yes, it is a very different world that I work in now. And
Yeah.
I will tell you that everything you hear about like the government employees being like lazy and don't give a crap and all that, 100% true. I work with now the department I'm in now. Great group of people. They're all gung ho and let's do it. And I'm like, yeah, let's do this, even though it's not going to work. And but the department that I came from before is terrible.
Nightmare
It is terrible.
stories.
Yeah. It's terrible. There's just like when you work for the government, you basically like I would have to kill you with witnesses, and then those witnesses would have to say, yeah, he killed him, and then they'd be like, okay, we're probably going to fire you, but it's not guaranteed. You know,
Yeah.
I mean, it's
Yeah.
really
It's
that hard
that
to lose your
extreme.
job. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's really that hard to lose your job. It's crazy.
Well, I mean, this is like my first year having to do all these adult things by myself or like with guidance, but on my own with my money, and like anything
Yeah.
that has to do with the government is just, it takes forever. And it's unbelievable. The
Yeah.
inefficiency. I'm like,
Yep.
and so,
it's
yeah,
nuts.
it has to be true. Like,
It is. I'm here to tell you, it's 100% true.
it just blows my mind every time. It just never fails.
What blows my mind is I'm used to always doing something. I'm always moving around doing something and everything. And then I come to this new position, and they're like, yeah, we got all these plans, but we're not implementing them yet. We don't know how we're going to do it, but we got plans. I'm like, okay, that's great. What do you want me to do? I'm like, we'll figure something out. We'll figure it out.
Oh my
I'm like,
God.
no job description.
Nothing.
No nothing. I'm just like, hey, do you have a bunch of stuff to do? Is it too much for you? Give me something to do, and I'll take takes a load off someone's plate and go do it. And
Wow.
but hey, I'm not complaining. Trust me, I'm not complaining.
No,
but
definitely.
I am in your camp, Aaron. I would love to work or make money and not work.
Yeah.
That's the goal.
Obviously, no, that's not possible yet. But
It's called retirement.
Again, big
Yeah.
plans.
Yeah.
We all
exactly.
have plans.
Yeah.
I was listening to I'm currently going through a 6-hour interview podcast of this Navy SEAL that worked for like the CIA and some other alphabet agencies, but he was saying that he could cut the Pentagon budget by 25% if you just like if there was, I can't remember the words he used, but it was like he could cut it by 25% if there was just more clarity around things. Like
Yeah.
so much money gets wasted.
Yeah, and-
especially sending contracts to these private companies.
Yep.
Yeah.
And there's somebody that's in charge of something like for everything. Like,
Yes.
Like if you're like, okay, I need some paper clips. There's someone in a basement office that's in charge of paperclip distribution, getting paid a shit ton of money to like hand you out a box of paper clips. But you don't know that they're there.
Yeah.
You got like to like go through some paperwork and shit, and find out, oh, there's a dude that has paper clips and I can get them for free. Okay, I'll go down there. And he's like, where's your paperwork, man? I was like, what paperwork? The paperclip paperwork. So you got to go back. There's paperwork for everything. It's like 20 pages long to get a box of paper clips. And I could like go to Walmart and buy a box, and it's that much easier.
Yeah.
But hey, there's someone in charge of paper clips, and whatever. He's getting paid money.
Yeah.
Here's the thing. I think that same concept applies in some of what I do in helping like musicians with social media and stuff.
Yeah.
Like if you ask someone to do more than 2 steps, like in terms of like entering a, giveaway or like doing something on your story, like people just are not going to do it.
Yeah.
They're not going to do it. They cannot follow it. And they're moving so fast. And so that's why it's just hilarious.
Sounds like you have a fun job to me.
Yeah. I mean, it is fun.
Ever changing for sure.
It is ever changing. It is never the same. And a lot of personalities.
Yeah.
But love music. So it's the best. But yeah, it applies in every industry. Like asking people to do more than like 1 or 2 steps is just destined for chaos.
So have you like met any like super famous people yet?
Oh gosh,
like,
Eric, have
You've
I met
seen a few.
I don't think
but
I've met any. Really.
Yeah, I don't think you've met any.
Like Miranda Lambert, let me handle your social media.
Your friend had got a picture with Sam Hunt the other night.
Yep,
That was pretty good.
he did.
Had the body
or
shop
she did,
dude?
yeah.
No.
Sam Hunt.
Sam Hunt. Who's
Body like a back road.
Body like a
Oh,
background.
that dude. Okay. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
I forgot country music. We're in Nashville.
Yeah.
I did go to like for my like 9 to 6 job. I did go to a 2000s like hip hop throwback concert.
Sweet.
So saw like a bunch of famous people like Fat Joe, who is not really fat anymore, which is kind of like upsetting, but good for him. Yeah, some of like the people we work with. So it was cool, but I am also more a country music girl. So that was like, it was cool, but I was like, I don't really follow a ton of you guys. So like, but yeah, I mean, see people out all the time. Eric and I were at dinner, we saw Miranda Lambert.
Nice.
Oh man,
Nice.
That was.
She was just sitting at a table.
It was like a dream. I'm a Miranda Lambert super fan. So,
Yeah, would love to meet her.
My back was turned, and our mom was like, "I think that's Miranda Lambert," and I was like, "Pfft."
No, it's
I
not.
was
The
like, I think
Grammys
it
had
is.
just happened.
Yeah.
Why would she be here? And then she talks, and I'm like, "Holy shit!"
There's Miranda Lambert.
She got up and had like a Southwest
Yeah.
fringe jacket on. We were like, yeah, for sure.
When I worked for Opryland, part of what we used to do was work at the Grand Ole Opry, both when it was at the Opry House and when it moved. There's a certain period during the year where it moves downtown to the Ryman, or at least back then it did. So we would go back and forth, and I got to know a lot of the country music artists. But, the people that are doing the Opry, for the most part, the regular ones are the ones that were like famous in the 50s and the 60s.
Yeah,
and
they're the
stuff,
older
like
ones,
Whispering
yeah.
Bill Anderson. And it's like,
Yeah,
Unbelievable.
Riders in the Sky.
But let me tell you something. Me and Little Jimmy Dickens,
Hell yeah! Talk about
just
a
like
legend.
that.
Talk about a legend.
Just like that, man.
Oh,
Me and
man.
Little Jimmy and his
Yeah.
manager, they loved me.
That's incredible. I've never
Yeah.
heard that before.
Oh
That's
yeah,
awesome.
man. They loved me. It's a whole long story behind how we got to know each other. But
Yeah.
and
That's great.
That was back when Daryl Worley was famous. And,
Yeah.
and he had his first hit song. And the last 3 years that the CMA Awards were at the Grand Ole Opry, I worked the CMA Awards, and it was interesting to be able to see how all this stuff like that comes together. But Daryl Worley was when he had his first big hit, and he was up for a CMA, and they had him perform and everything. He got deathly sick the night of the Opry.
Oh no.
I don't know. It wasn't food poisoning, but
Yeah.
it was some sort of GI
Ooh,
something
gosh.
or other.
Man.
And they're like on our door. God, that was so smooth. I wish we had that on video. And so I'm opening up the door, and they're like, I'm working with another guy, and they're like, Daryl Worley's really sick. You guys got to come see him. And I'm like, well, what the hell, So we get him, and we bring him in our little first aid office, and we're like, oh God, he is sick. And he's like, guys, I gotta use your bathroom. And he destroyed our bathroom.
Oh,
it was
no.
horrible. Yeah. I mean,
Wow.
like out of both ends, just horrible.
Holy
And
cow.
we had to give him an IV and give him some medicine and everything. And they made us, when he was up on the stage performing his song, they made us grab all of our medical gear and like go down and hide up like underneath, not underneath the stage, but
Yeah.
the stage is up high, so we're down like right
Just in
in
case.
front,
Yeah.
just in case he fell out. And I'm like, what are we going to do? I mean, are they going to like cut to commercial real quick, like if he faints? I mean, what are we doing? We're like crouched down the whole time. He finished his song and jetted. He left.
Dude, he was probably having to shit himself the whole time he was up there.
Oh God, I don't know how he did it.
How did he not?
incredible.
Yeah, it was horrible, man.
Yeah.
I felt bad for him.
Yeah,
Everybody's
for
making
real.
fun of him. It's like, oh, it's just nerves. I'm like, no, dude, that is not nerves.
I know. I've seen this before. This is not nervous.
I have taken a nervous shit, and that is not what that is.
that was not it at all.
Oh my god.
Well, hey, Lil Jimmy Dickens got that statue outside the Ryman, so.
Yeah.
Yeah. No. I mean. Yeah.
But we did see when the Opry was at the Ryman in January. It was there the whole month this year, and we saw. You weren't with us. I
Usually
don't think.
January, February,
Yeah.
March. I think through April. I think is when they do it at the Ryman. I think. But yeah, dude, I met Andy Griffith at the Ryman.
Wow.
At the Grand Ole Opry. Yep.
Jeez.
Taking a whiz in the bathroom.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. I had met Drew.
Taking a whiz with Andy Griffith.
I met Drew Brees. I met Drew Brees in a bathroom once in San Diego.
Sweet.
Yeah.
I feel like you'd never meet a famous female in a bathroom.
Because
Like-
y'all got stalls.
Yeah.
Too,
If
so
Eric
it's
and I meet a famous female in the bathroom, we're getting arrested.
That's
Miss Miranda Lambert, she went in the bathroom.
go get her. No.
just follows behind.
Yeah. Just tracks in behind.
Okay. One last story I got to tell you.
Yeah.
I felt up Dolly Parton's boobs.
Wow.
Yep.
Good for you.
True story. She was going in the Opry
True
house.
story.
Yep. She was going in the Opry house. Well, one of the rules that they had for us peons when we were working at Opryland was like, do not engage with the stars. You can look at them, but then turn away.
Yeah, looking for free touching's gonna cost you.
Yeah, don't engage. If they come and talk to you, that's one thing, but do not approach the stars. Don't stare at them down. You can look at them, hey, and then look away. Don't do. So I was walking in the Opry House one night, and we had to go in the artist entrance because they didn't want us going in the front. And Dolly Parton was there talking to a security officer. And she got finished with her conversation as I was walking up, and she turned around and she was ahead of me, like from where I am to you almost, maybe a little bit further. So it was like 6 feet, 7 feet,
Yeah.
no more than 10,
Yeah.
And I was doing what I was supposed to do. I was like, oh shit, it's Dolly Parton, but I'm like, okay, I'm not going to say anything, I'm not going to approach her. Doing my job, I'm professional, I'm walking in, and you know how when you're talking to someone and you're walking away and then you realize, oh, I forgot to tell them something, you turn around real quick? That was kind of like what happened to her, but she didn't know I was behind her.
Yeah.
And I'm light on my feet. I walk up behind people and scare them all the time without meaning to. I just don't make a lot of noise, I guess.
Yeah,
I don't
you got
know.
that energy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so she was in front of me and she did this real quick turnabout and she was going to say something to the security guard and she turned around and we almost ran into each other and she went, ah, like that. And I went, ah, and her boobs right in my hands. Just pow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Big
They're
old-
probably wider than her,
Big old double handful of Dolly Parton boobs. I mean, each one, it was like I reached out on purpose and grabbed her boobs.
Oh my
And
god.
I'm like, oh my God. I am so sorry, Miss Parton. I'm like, that's it. I'm done. I'm fired.
Yep.
I've molested Dolly Parton and I'm going to go to jail and lose my job, lose my license, everything, And she thought it was the most absolute hilarious thing.
I'm sure
she just
she
laughed
did.
and laughed and laughed.
I'm
And she
sure
was
she
like,
did.
oh, honey, don't worry. They get in the way all the time. And I was like,
Yeah.
I can see that.
That sounds
I can
about
see
right.
that. Yeah. So that's my famous
God.
I molested Dolly Parton story. Yeah.
God bless country music.
Country music and Dolly Parton's
And Dolly
knockers.
Parton's boobs, yeah. They were very soft and supple, just what the 0.5 seconds my hands were on them.
For sure. Yeah. Still a quickie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was- yeah.
Wow.
Man.
Good times.
That is a good one.
It is
Yeah.
wild seeing people like that in person and getting so close.
Yeah.
Like-
yeah.
Yeah.
Because you're just used to seeing them through a TV screen.
Yeah, and you're
Yeah,
like, wow,
but-
they're so real
Yeah, but
and
after you the ones you get to know, after you get to know them for a little while, it's just like it's another Joe, But the first few times you're like, I don't know that I need to be talking to you because you're like a celebrity or something.
Yeah.
It's like I'm nobody.
right.
I'm just here for a
Yeah.
job.
I just want a paycheck.
Yeah, literally.
And to feel your breasts, your huge Dolly Parton breasts.
Yeah, that's definitely a perk for sure.
It was that day.
Yeah.
After I got over the shock, I was like, oh my God.
Like, wow, that just happened. Yeah.
Yeah. Talk about nervous shits. Yeah.
Seriously.
Oh, but enough about us.
Yes. Well, like we said, good to have you here, Sandman.
It's good to be here. I enjoy shooting the shit with you
Oh
guys.
yeah, great times.
Have like a whole episode of just like talking about rando stuff.
Yeah, we do.
Everyone's like, Aaron talks about this stuff all day.
Yeah.
Like, we do not need to hear it on a podcast.
Okay, well, I can't remember where I got the idea to do stories about mermaids or sea creatures or whatever.
I think it was in our Instagram chat.
Oh, it might have been.
You've still never put me in on the group. I'm really.
Oh yeah, we should do that.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm bummed.
Yeah, I'll add you.
bummed.
Yeah, I'll add
Okay.
you. Yeah, we
He's
got.
gonna be
That's
like,
what you said.
Who is this other
That's
person?
what you said last time and the time before that. And
Really?
Yeah.
Oh man, I'm sorry I let you down.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
I got you. So we have a bunch of stories about mermaids, and then I've been wanting to chat about this conspiracy that's making its rounds on Reddit.
I knew it.
Yeah. And YouTube and whatnot.
Does Sandman know what it is?
Yes.
Yes, he does. So
Okay.
the conspiracy's about, it's called the Tartarian Empire, Tartaria conspiracy. If you know about it, it's just it's kind of crazy in a sense that it like spans the whole world, but don't know how plausible it is.
Yeah, that's my thing is how plausible is it?
Yeah, so we'll get into that towards the end, but
Wow, I love this little thing right here.
yeah, it's really nice. Yeah, actually, Sandman provided the gear here.
Yeah.
Audio
It's-
provided
it-
by.
But it's your gear.
It's my
It is-
gear. It was
your
a
gear.
gift. Yes,
Yeah.
it was a gift.
It is your gear.
Yes.
So cool. This is like the first time I've ever seen it in action. So
Yeah, that's true. I think we used it at the Dogman
playing with
conference.
it. Oh, that's right. I lied. We did use it at the Dogman conference.
Also,
Yes.
just like to point out, Eric sucked down a Dunkin' Donuts coffee like I've never seen.
It's not your first time.
It's not my
No,
first, not
it
my
is
first
not.
rodeo.
You know what, though? I pre-ordered it and timed it perfectly.
That's great.
So I would like to just...
That's such a
You're
good
welcome.
feeling.
It is a good feeling.
Give yourself a pat on the back.
Yeah.
And a gold star in your employee folder at work.
I should have a lot of them.
You should.
I should have a lot of stars.
Because you are awesome.
Thank you. I am a star. I'm a star. You know those
You are.
jumps?
Yeah.
You're the most
Just do
awesome,
them like at
most
on my
awesome
lunch
Aaron
break.
that I know. I don't know anybody else named Aaron that's as awesome as you are.
But you know other errands?
Off the top of my
Exactly.
head.
Yeah.
Low bar.
Low bars.
That's right. You set it low, and that way when you do something, they're like, damn.
I said all about
Working hard.
expectations.
It really
Working
is,
hard
though.
today.
It is.
Lower your expectations, and you're always impressed.
That's
I
right.
thought I was going to pay $15 for a drink the other day downtown, and it was 10, and I was over the moon.
Yeah.
Like, I said all about expectations.
That's right.
That is.
But that means a lot, thank you.
You're welcome.
Aaron, you want to start us out?
Yeah.
I know we have
What
an
do we-
encounter, a mermaid encounter, ironically enough, from our home state of Indiana. So
Always got to
Ooh,
throw it in
that's,
there.
That's why you were making the Indiana reference early. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I forgot you guys weren't from here.
we aren't.
People
Well,
from
neither
our
are you.
land.
That's true. I'm more southern than you are.
You
though,
are.
so-
You are more southern. Yeah.
Yeah, we aren't really at all.
No, you're not.
But I believe the town that this takes place in is on the Ohio River.
Yeah. So southern Indiana.
It is on the border of, I think, it'd be Kentucky and
Yeah,
Indiana.
Yep.
So, yeah, we'll get started with this one. So, they're called mud mermaids of Indiana,
Yep.
which if you've seen water in that state, you get it because
Yeah.
they're disgusting.
The Ohio River is just literally a giant mud.
Sounds like big, giant catfish, but I digress.
Probably.
Yeah.
Okay, next topic. Solve that one.
So that's what it is. Yeah. All right, so here we go. When one thinks of mermaids, they probably think of the vast expanses of ocean and mysterious realms out past the horizons over the water. Not this. This is the Ohio
This
River.
is the Ohio River. Do not think of that.
Yeah, so in the 1800s, there were apparently sightings of a bunch of mermaids in perhaps one of the last places anyone would ever expect to find them. So this is near the area of, I think it's pronounced Vevey, Indiana. And this sits, again on the Ohio River, so way southern Indiana. Obviously, it's a landlocked state and probably you don't think about sea monsters, but in 1891, there were several sightings of something lurking along the muddy shores and sandbars of the Ohio River that seemed to be sort of grotesque, twisted version of the mermaids that we know by legend. So apparently these creatures were spotted frolicking in the water and lounging about on submerged tree stumps and were said to feed on fish and mussels. They were described as vaguely humanoid in appearance, amphibious, and completely hairless. They had webbed hands, sharp claws, fins, pointed ears, and jagged teeth. This is a description coming from the Cincinnati Enquirer, and it says, the beast is about 5 feet in length. Its general color is yellowish. The body between the 4 legs resembles that of a human being. Back of the hind legs, it tapers to a point. The extremities resemble hands and are webbed and furnished with sharp claws. It is devoid of hair, and its ears are sharp, pointed, and stand up like those of a dog. One of the witnesses, a Kentuckian Confederate captain, would even provide a sketch of the creature and would claim that they were predatory and aggressive. He would claim that the pair of creatures he saw was a male and a female, and that he had seen and been menaced by the male. Soon the newspapers were calling these creatures mud mermaids. And, sorry, lost my spot. On the sandbar of the Ohio River in Vevey, Indiana, 2 nondescript creatures, horrible in appearance and habit. They kind of appeared as like really large lizards, which is what I thought when it said tree stump, by the way, because those lizards just like bask. And when partly submerged in the yellow waters of the Ohio, they look strangely just like human beings. Of what species of animal they are from, no one knows, but it is impossible to get near enough to judge them correctly. The sandbar in question in this encounter is at low tide, covered with huge logs and stumps of trees. They have been deposited by the government snag boats engaged in keeping the channel clear. When the water is high enough to cover these snags, the creatures make their home among them. When the water recedes, they disappear into an unknown layer and wait for it to rise.
Damn.
When was this?
1891.
1891.
Yeah.
And some dude was menaced. I wonder what that...
Menace. Yeah.
What did they do? How did they menace him? Like,
I feel like...
I just like looked at him and glared at him.
yeah. It was like...
It's like a menacing look. Yeah. Just
Watching
eyeballing him. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know, but that's like, I hate the Ohio River.
It's scary.
It's disgusting.
It's disgusting
like,
too, yeah.
Every time we drive over it, it's just nasty.
Yeah, I mean, well, one, it's absolutely huge. I mean, if you've driven over the Ohio, driven over the Mississippi, any of those.
The Mississippi was pretty crazy.
They're so big,
Yeah.
but yeah, they're nasty. Maybe they looked different back then, before all the industrial sites
I'm sure.
hit all
before
along.
all the pollution.
Yeah, all the
Right.
pollution to the water.
Right.
And sewage. Yeah, I'm sure it did look better then.
Honestly, it's
Smelled
probably
better too.
Yeah.
So
Like-
is this the only account that you can find of these mud mermaids? Was
Yes,
there-
and it's mentioned at the end of the article that it's weird that there were none before 1891 because it's like it kind of makes sense if there weren't after because again things got industrialized and whatnot, but I don't know.
I mean, the weird part, it could be catfish, but the weird part that kind of veers off of that is the fact that they said they were out bathing on the rocks.
Mm-hmm.
That's kind of the weird
yeah,
portion to me.
catfish don't do that.
Yeah, catfish wouldn't stay out.
I don't
so.
think catfish have big ass teeth either.
No, I don't think so. I don't know. It's a weird one.
Carp. I mean, it could have
Yeah.
been.
Yeah, like what has claw-like things that people could mistake for?
I don't know, platypus, but I don't think
platypus.
they're much smaller.
The Ohio
Yeah.
River platypus.
Honestly, way better than mud mermaids.
That is way better.
Platypus.
The giant
Damn.
platypus of the Ohio River.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. See, we need to start that.
Yes.
That's our
That is
our
funny.
homegrown conspiracy theory. There's a giant platypus in the Cumberland.
Yes.
That came from the Ohio River.
It migrated.
Yeah.
This is interesting, too. It says that they appear to be carnivorous, and they found wagon loads of mussel shells, fish bones, and other debris of animals, like right around where they were laying.
Damn.
And how many people saw these things? I wonder.
I don't know.
In this article, I think there's two news reports.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's the same man, though. I
So
think.
one dude is reporting this?
One man, 2 outlets reported on it.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Well, it's interesting, but I think that's a case of a mistaken...
Yeah, I mean, I would tend to agree with you as much as I would like there to be mermaids in the Ohio
that
River.
would be like really cool.
Yeah.
But I think that's a case of mistaken identity. I think
For sure.
I'm not going to say he had been drinking or anything like that. I mean, he could have been, but I think it's just a case of mistaken identity. And if there were more people that saw it, or if there had been, sightings over a number of years or whatever, then you could say, oh, maybe there's something to this. But one time is like a one-off deal. I don't know.
Well, if you think that story is weird. This is an article from 2019. A woman in Zimbabwe claims she was kidnapped by mermaids.
Sweet.
Yes. So it says, mermaids and mermen are considered by some to be the ultimate wet dream. But a woman in Zimbabwe might disagree.
I mean, the first line, and it's already just...
Yeah. So she says... Her and her sister Melody had visited our uncle, and we decided to take a bath in the river. She says,
Ooh.
Melody saw a fish, and we decided to try and catch. In trying to do so, an unexpected whirlwind whisked me away and took me into a deep cave underneath the water, where I found 3 ladies who had half human and half fish bodies.
Yeah. There you go. Which half was human and which half was fish?
It's not clarified.
Okay.
Hopefully the bottom half.
I've never even thought about that, though.
Yeah. It's always the bottom half, but...
What if there's a offshoot of mermaids that's like top half fish?
Top half fish, bottom half lady.
I mean, that's...
Big old gills.
Yeah.
It's like, then there's no boobs.
But there's probably an ass.
Yeah,
and other things. I know,
other
but it's
things,
just like
Yeah.
the typical like mermaid image is like boobs and like a shell
long
bra.
Yeah, like a shell bra.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's funny.
So the search for this woman that disappeared ensues. So the 34-year-old resident of this village in Zimbabwe, eastern Zimbabwe, is lost. And so her family basically is looking for her. And so they get the help of some churches, and they are willing to pay these churches, if they find her daughter, they're willing to pay them with 2 cows.
Okay.
So
This is
big
in
bucks.
Africa.
this is in Zimbabwe, yeah.
Okay, Southern Africa.
Yeah,
Okay.
so the search is on.
Okay.
So this woman claims that she survived with these mermaids for 2 weeks by eating raw fish. And these mermaid ladies, claimed to kill her if she did not eat the fish and whatever else was with the fish.
I mean, I'm eating the fish. If that's all I have to do.
So she listened. This woman's family continued the search with more help from religious leaders, not believing that she'd run away. So they eventually encountered a prophet. His name is Madzibaba Edborn, and he was a follower of this guy called John of the Wilderness. So this guy agreed to help them for free, but he did not know that he'd be dealing with mermaids.
How do you forget to tell them that? Hey, I need you to help find my missing sister.
How is that left out? So
John is like, I did not.
Yeah. That wasn't in the contract.
So
wilderness, John of the wilderness.
just not the water.
Yeah.
Just not the water. Let's see here. So where was I? So Edborn told told the family to sing while spitting on the woman's body until she regained consciousness.
Oh my gosh.
So I
feel like we need alcohol for this.
Hey, I'm always down to daydream.
So they do this, and it seemingly worked. The mermaids told this woman that she had to return home as some people were looking for her. They handed me a basket and an arrow with a lot of medicines and instructed me to heal people and return with gifts of money at the cave as Thanksgiving.
Wow.
What a great little twist.
Yeah, I know, right?
Yeah.
I was shocked to see people gathered around with my family present, and my body was so powerless. The prophet then burnt the baskets. So I guess one of the guys they had looking for her burnt the basket that the mermaids gave her to ashes, and she thanked him for saving her.
Wow.
So, yeah, that's a
great story.
It's a great
Honestly,
story.
it is.
Yeah, very rewarding. It almost sounds like a fairy tale, but it's a good story.
Kidnapping, mermaids, it's got everything.
It's
Except
intrigue.
Except for sex and murder. And
Yeah.
it could have been that too. I mean,
Little deception by not
Yeah.
telling the guy that he'd be
Yeah.
dealing with mermaids.
Yeah.
yeah.
It's
Well done.
it's interesting. But just thing to mention at the end. Apparently, Zimbabwe is like very well known for their mermaid lore. Mermaids were blamed for 2 deaths in 2017, and stealing a woman's teeth in 2016. So, you never know.
Stealing a woman's teeth.
Yes, stealing a woman's teeth. Yep.
Like false teeth or like real teeth? I mean, they was...
It says real teeth.
Wonder what they're.
God, that's horrible.
Yeah, that is horrible.
Yeah, well, in the actual news article, it says that this person was claimed they had been brutally assaulted by mermaids. So,
Yeah, if
I mean,
you're going to get all your teeth ripped out of your head, that is a brutal assault.
it is a brutal assault.
Oh, God.
So,
that sounds very similar to something called the Yakaruna.
okay.
And while it's not in Zimbabwe, this is in the Amazon, which is, not too far away, I guess.
Well, similar climates.
Similar climate, yeah. So this is an Amazon legend. The Yakaruna are water-dwelling people, and they resemble human beings.
Okay.
They're often described as hairy creatures with deformed feet and heads turned backwards.
Ooh, God.
Yeah, I know. Sometimes they are accompanied by other creatures like serpents or crocodiles.
Yeah.
And they are said to live in beautiful underwater cities. And in these cities, they build fancy crystal palaces.
Oh.
Yeah. So not an underwater cave, but maybe. I mean, if you're going to have could be a cave underwater, but
Probably some sort of.
yeah. And some of the legends say that the reflections of human cities on the water surface are, in fact, the Yakarunian cities.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yep. They are notorious for abducting humans, specifically women who they take as brides. Go figure.
Yeah.
Right? Yep.
Interesting.
And the abducted people will gradually transform into a Yakaruna, starting with their eyes, their heads, and then the rest of their bodies. And in something similar to the thing about giving the basket and the arrow and saying, go heal the people and stuff, the Yakaruna are also believed to be masters of healing. And the shamans in the Amazon, some of the Amazon tribes occasionally summon the Yakaruna to assist them in their work because they're supposed to be healers. So,
Damn.
yeah, very similar to your story.
That is very similar. Yeah, that's an interesting. I feel like I've heard that concept. I don't know that I've heard it called the Yakaruna, but I have heard the Amazonian kind of underwater.
That's probably what they were
creatures.
talking about.
Yeah, it probably was. Yeah.
Probably it.
Kind of a tangent, but it's still related to cryptids.
Sure.
I was listening to Mysterious Universe, and they were talking about this. I mentioned this to you the other week. They were talking about these dogman encounters over in Land Between the Lakes.
Yeah,
the LBL.
we were there.
And we were there. We went to a dogman conference and literally heard the real person talk about his story, and this is the same story they were doing on Mysterious Universe.
I'm going next year.
Okay. Yeah.
If they have it.
Yeah, I hope so. Yeah, we need to check that out, see if they've scheduled.
Keep talking.
Yes, you got it. But anyway, they were talking about these. They were specifically talking about dogmen and how there could possibly be some transfer of. I don't know what you want to call it, but like kind of like a general psychic. I guess that's the best way to describe it. It's like people that migrated from France and Germany, where the dogman or the wolfman kind of legends originate, or even like Scandinavia.
Yeah.
They somehow like transfer this mass consciousness when they brought their stories and culture over to the United States.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
So, and I mean, another person at the Dogman conference was talking about some of the native cultures and their rituals they had around burying people with like wolf heads. Mm-hmm. Yeah. They would put the skulls on their face.
Right.
And so, but yeah, it's an interesting idea. Like, are these things physical, or are they like some sort of visualization that we all have based on some cultural psychic phenomena?
Yeah, I know what you mean. I would not like push that aside. I think that's plausible for sure. It's like hearing people, because you can read the stories and stuff and you're thinking, oh, that's pretty wild.
Yeah.
But I know to hear people talk about it and to see their like emotions and them telling it is different. So
yeah, I mean, Eric and I had said this. It was just a 1-day conference, so it wasn't like a big thing. But the whole thing could have been just this one dude.
Mm-hmm.
His story is so wild. It's so wild, but it's the way he was telling it. You know something happened. So it's right. The conference could have been surrounding just like his whole. Could have been just him for the whole day. Just telling.
Right.
God,
how old was this guy?
Oh, he was probably 60, 70 now.
He was older than us.
Yeah. It happened to him in, I think, the early 90s.
Like,
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, early 90s.
It happened, like, around where the conference was?
But I think not more than maybe 50 miles away.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I'm not finding anything about a second annual
Dogman.
Yeah. I mean, the dude that put it on, the guys from Paranormal Roundtable, they're still in existence.
Yeah.
Because they did an episode on the 7th of this month. So which has been a couple of weeks. But
I think they're big on YouTube. Yeah.
Let me check.
If I remember correctly.
Check out. Look, here it is.
Oh yeah.
On YouTube. Interesting. Let's see. I'll keep researching.
Yeah. I have just a couple here. Some of these are very recent, and some of them were in the news that I remember actually seeing. So there was a recent sighting in 2009, and I don't know if it's a hoax or not. Some people claim it was. This town in Israel called Kiryat Yam. It became popular in 2009 after a group of people claimed to see a mermaid doing tricks in front of spectators. The mermaid in question was seen sunning herself on a beach while she realized humans were around. She flopped down the beach and immediately dove into the water. So,
wish I was her.
Skeptics offered $1 million reward for proof of mermaid existence, but no one has ever been able to claim that reward. Mm-hmm. There is I guess this is another cryptid called Orang Ikan, and it is Orang Ikan translate to fish people. In World War II, both Japanese and American soldiers claimed to see hideous fish people with large eyes and large teeth on remote shores of the Kai Islands. Soldiers described the Orang Ikan as having pinkish skin, large eyes, lipless mouths, spiny needle teeth. Much like other predatory sea life, these creatures had long, sharp claws and webbed hands. The mermaids made a loud, hostile sound, gurgling noise. Soldiers regularly fled from them, and those that didn't often found rocks being thrown at them. The locals warned them not to go too close. The Orang Ikan were known to attack anyone who'd come in their territory. You know what this encounter reminds me of? One of my favorite shows ever, Jeremy Wade and River Monsters.
River Monsters,
dude,
yeah,
that guy
Legend.
is a badass, man. I would. He honestly is like celebrity status for me. Like I want to meet him. Like that would be incredible.
And it was like I would always watch it at the just weirdest times in my life.
yeah,
like-
it's so random, so random.
Like 4 p.m. on a Tuesday.
Yeah.
It would be on, and you're just like, holy shit.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. He's awesome. But these accounts remind me of
Yeah,
that.
definitely.
So just a little caveat
Yeah,
here.
yeah.
I'm looking at the website, and there is nothing up there about
Nothing yet.
second annual conference. So that might have
Damn.
been a one-off thing.
Yeah, it might have been. I mean, they do have like 6 months, so we'll see what happens.
They better be.
Dude, it was packed when we were
Yeah,
there.
so they better be in the middle of putting all that crap together.
yeah,
because, I mean,
yeah.
Listen, whoever's in charge of that, I want to go this year, so get it together.
Get it together. Yeah.
anyway, I didn't mean to mess up.
No worries. There's there's another cryptid from Zimbabwe called the Mamba Muntu. The people of Zimbabwe have their own strange tales, as we have previously reported, of fish people. For centuries, people have spoken of the Mamba Muntu. This isn't a mermaid in the traditional sense, but rather a half-human, half-fish sea deity. This is brilliant. Known for tempting people with capitalist ideas.
Yeah.
Yes.
How do they know that?
Let's go.
Oh my gosh.
This may seem like hogwash, but don't be so quick to judge. In 2012, both white and black river workers spotted an irate group of Mamba Muntu-style mermaids. The mermaids threw rocks at them and terrorized them until they fled the construction site. In Zimbabwe, seeing irate Mamba Muntu is a terrible omen, a literal sign of a pissed-off god. The workers refused to return to the site until priests carried out rituals to appease the mermaids. Since then, the mermaids haven't made an appearance.
Wow.
Don't know. Okay, this last one here, which is interesting because it's from Iceland. Several people have claimed to interact with an advanced group of people who live under the sea. User Spooky Iceland and his friends went to a seaside area in his home country of Iceland. After a normal day of fun, the two decided to spend the night sleeping in their Jeep. Things started to get weird when they both dreamt of being kidnapped by hideous mermen with poisonous spines.
They both dreamt of the same thing?
Yeah, apparently some shared dream. The creatures had amazing technology that were capable of revealing the greatest sins a person committed. They said that if the crimes were too high, they wouldn't go home. Apparently, they were innocent enough, so the mermen took them to an underground city much like Atlantis, then left them back near their Jeep. While these were only dreams, one can only wonder. I don't know.
Weird.
Yeah, strange one.
Oh, no. Scared myself there for a second. Thought I lost my stuff. Here we go.
Any others? Sandman, you got anything else for us?
I have several. What would you like for me to tell you about? Let's see.
You got any kind of obscure Like, not Africa or South America?
Yes.
Let's do that.
All right. I have two. How about two?
Let's do it.
All
Yeah,
right.
let's do it.
The first one is the Avanc. It is a lake monster that's mentioned in Welsh mythology.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. It's described as a creature that takes the form of a crocodile. This is crazy. It's either a crocodile, a giant beaver, or a dwarf. One of those three.
One of them.
It can do either one of them. Yeah. Pick it and
Listen, you know what I'm going for.
Giant beaver all the time. Yeah.
Giant beaver.
Hilarious.
Yeah.
Terrifying.
The Avanc was said to prey on anyone who fell into or dared to enter the waters where it was inhabiting. One legend says that the violent thrashings of the Avanc had caused a massive flood which drowned all the people in Britain at the time.
Wow.
Everybody, yeah. Another more popular legend tells about a maiden who tamed the Avanc by sitting on the shore and letting it sleep on her lap. Now, it doesn't say how. I didn't find out how she got it to sleep on her lap. I'm sure if I could dig a little bit more, but whatever.
Yeah.
So she let it sleep in her lap. Then she somehow summoned the fellow villagers over to capture it. So while it was sleeping, they wrapped it up in a bunch of chains. And after that, it woke up. And it got pissed off because it was, hey, I was taking a nap here and now I'm all chained up.
Yeah.
So it started thrashing about trying to break the chains. And unfortunately, it crushed the poor maiden. And she died. And there are also legends that mention that quite possibly even King Arthur had slain the Avanc.
Wow.
Bringing an end to its terrible reign.
Sounds like something King Arthur would do.
Yeah. Welsh.
Yeah.
So and the other that I have is this is another European folklore. This is the Melusine.
Okay.
Melusine. It's a mermaid-like creature with the upper body of a woman and the lower body of a fish or maybe even a serpent. Now, this thing is not like ordinary mermaids. The Melusine's lower body consists of two tails.
Oh.
Not just one, but two. It's said that she can be found in freshwater, like springs and streams, so not an ocean-dwelling creature. The Melusine was the name of a water fairy who fell in love with a prince named Raymond. And Raymond was said to have been in the forest on a hunting trip, and he ran across the Melusine, and they fell in love like at first sight immediately, and on the same day they got married. I mean, it was like a whirlwind romance. It was like, hey, you want to get married? And she's like, sure, I ain't got nothing else to do.
Just chilling in my spring.
Chilling. Yeah, but the only condition was that he could never enter her chamber on Saturdays because Saturdays was bath day.
Saturdays are for the boys, too.
Saturdays is bath day. And so he said, yeah, sure. He agreed. And they lived together in his palace for many years.
Wow.
Melusine bore him several children, but unfortunately each child was born with some sort of a deformity, but that didn't keep them from being successful because they grew to be great warriors and heroes, every one of them.
What country was this again? Sorry.
It just says it's English.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Got it.
European, I'm sorry. Not English, but
just
European.
Okay.
Yeah. After several years of being married, Raymond was, he couldn't take the suspense anymore, and he peeked into Melusine's chamber while it was on a Saturday. So he was wondering, what are you doing there all by yourself on Saturdays? So he took a peek in her room, and he saw her in the bath in her half-serpent form. And so she saw him peeking in on her and then jumped out of the window and disappeared into the night, never to be seen again. And since then, she is said to appear hovering over the palace as an omen of death for one of her descendants.
Oof.
Yeah.
Well, that was happy until the end. I was like, no, they got a good thing going.
All he had to do was not go in there on bath day.
Yeah.
And
He just couldn't take it.
Couldn't take it.
Man.
He's like, I want
Typical.
to bathe.
Yeah.
I mean,
Typical.
I can't. I mean, he wanted to take a bath with his wife. Maybe, I don't know. I mean,
Yeah, who knows?
they're married. I mean, you know.
Yeah.
Have you guys heard of the circus mermaid thing?
The circus mermaid.
Yeah.
I have maybe.
Well, I guess it's called the Fiji mermaid.
Okay.
Have you heard of this?
No.
I don't think I have. No.
Oh, okay. It was like a sideshow attraction that they would bring along to circuses.
Yeah, just like the hairy woman, or
So, yes, it's along the lines of being that weird.
yeah, okay,
the bearded lady.
Bearded lady. Yes, yes.
But the top half of it is a baby monkey, and they sew it to the bottom of the bottom of it's a fish.
Okay.
And the top of
Sweet.
it's a baby monkey.
Wow, that sounds circus. Yeah.
They
They call it a monkfish. No, wait, that's a real thing. I'm sorry.
Yeah, it's composed of the torso and head of a juvenile monkey and the back half of a fish.
Jeez.
And it was presented as a mummified body of a creature that was half mammal, half fish. One of the first public versions of a mermaid
Wow.
that people would use for entertainment and stuff.
It was obviously fake, though.
Right.
Yeah.
But it is.
Wow.
But you didn't know until you paid your 10 cents to go in there to look at it.
Exactly.
It's actually in the Barnum's American Museum
Oh wow.
Wow.
Where is
So-
that located? Does it say?
in the 1840s. It was in New York. I don't know.
I bet it's still in New York.
Oh, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Same spot.
Yeah. Same spot.
But yeah, that's creepy. You can Google the Fiji mermaid, and the little skeleton of it is.
It pops
Wow.
out.
Gross,
That's
yeah.
cool.
I bet it's
That's cool.
nasty. I don't know. Mermaids are a weird one because on one hand you're like, and there's some old accounts going back to 1500s, and Christopher Columbus apparently saw one off the
Yeah.
coast of Haiti. And
It's in Bridgeport, Connecticut now.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
But
Probably rent got too high.
Well, it's New York.
Yeah, the rent's too damn high.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a weird one because on one hand you're like, it's the ocean, like we don't know anything about the ocean, and
We know more about
Space.
About
Yeah.
our galaxy than we do what's going on in the ocean.
yeah. So on one hand you're like, oh, like surely there's undiscovered creatures, but then I think some of the accounts get too fantastical. Yeah,
Yeah. But,
But,
I mean, once again, we don't know what the hell's down there.
yeah. But I mean, if you get assaulted by a mermaid and she takes your teeth, that's one thing.
they are not kind creatures in general, I feel like.
No,
No, it's definitely not like the Disney mermaid.
definitely not. It's not Ariel. No.
No. Did you guys ever see that Tom Hanks movie, Splash?
No.
I don't think so.
Oh, God, I'm so old. So,
Splash.
Splash, Tom Hanks and Daryl Hannah, back when Daryl Hannah was at her peak
Yeah.
of acting, they did a mermaid movie together, and it's called Splash. And Daryl Hannah played the mermaid, and it was a good movie.
Yeah.
If you want to watch it's definitely not Disney's Little Mermaid type deal. Had John Candy in it.
Yeah, I'm looking it up.
And,
Looking it up.
Levy.
Eugene Levy,
Oh,
yeah, I forgot
shit.
about him. Yeah, John.
Wow, yeah, Tom Hanks was young.
There's a
He looks
yeah.
so different.
Oh my
Yeah.
god.
Yeah.
There was a scene in there where the Daryl Hannah's character, I can't remember what her name was,
Yeah.
but she had gotten taken by Eugene Levy because he was the scientist or whatever he was kind of
Yeah.
studying or stuff, and so Tom Hanks and John Candy are friends, and they're dressing up like scientists to break into the labs or to break the thing out and to break the mermaid out, and they encounter the security guards, and they were disguising themselves as Swedish scientists or something like that.
Okay.
And so anyway, John Candy is they come to the security guards and he's like, let me handle this. So he starts speaking Swedish to them. And he's speaking Swedish to these guys, and they're like, oh, yeah, and so apparently, I think the guys were Swedish or something like that. But
Yeah.
anyway, he's speaking this foreign language to him, and later on, Tom Hanks was like, I didn't know you spoke Swedish or whatever. He's like, oh yeah, some of your finer nudie films are Swedish. So he was repeating lines from a porno movie to these guys. And he was telling me he had a 10-inch penis. Yeah, classic
That's
stuff.
brilliant.
Classic stuff. Yeah.
That's a classic 80s.
Yeah, you should watch that if you're into mermaids. You should totally watch.
Yeah, well.
You should totally watch that. And there's another classic Tom Hanks movie that has nothing to do with mermaids called Bachelor Party.
Bachelor Party.
Oh God. You know who Tawny Katane is?
Nah.
So old, guys. Okay.
This happens every time you reference movies. I'm just like, no, I don't know.
This blank look comes over his face. He's like, "Ooh," starts drooling. So Tawny Katane was she came to popularity as a video vixen back in the 80s when music videos were popular. She was married to David Coverdale from Whitesnake.
Oh, yeah.
And her claim to fame was she was gyrating around on hoods of cars and doing cartwheels and stuff. And
it's like in the song
on David
1985. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Debbie just wanted to dance on the hood of Whitesnake's car.
Yep. There you go. That's it. And she was in the movie Bachelor Party with Tom Hanks, and it's a good it's a feel good movie where lots of stuff happens at this dude's bachelor party.
Bachelor Party. Yeah, she kind of in modern day she kind of looks like Caitlyn Jenner.
She doesn't look like shit now because she's dead. So
is she really? Well.
Rest in peace,
Tawny.
Yeah, she don't look that good no more.
I was say she looked No.
Tawny Katane.
She looked just 2000.
Dude, she was like every pubescent kid's freaking fantasy. There are probably millions of young kids at that point in time who frantically masturbated to Tawny Katane watching that Whitesnake video.
Oh, for sure.
Oh my goodness.
Posters up in their room.
God,
yeah.
Dude. Yeah. I mean, I was watching it. I was watching some documentary about 80s music the other day, and they were referencing that, and they were showing snippets from the video and everything. I was like, oh yeah,
I remember that.
Excuse me while I need to go to the restroom. I'll be right back.
That's hilarious. Yeah, we were just talking about MTV on our last episode with the Hush Hush guys. Yeah, MTV was an icon.
Yeah.
Of when you grew up.
Totally invented by the Tavistock.
Yeah, 100%.
People, if you believe that. If you believe that.
Well, off the Red Pill Aaron on the Tavistock.
Oh God, you don't know about that? We should red pill you. Speaking of red pill and stuff, Aaron, I don't see any reference about a Dogman conference. However, there is one that I'm thinking about going to in April. It's the East Tennessee Friends and Legends. It's like the East Tennessee Paracon or something like that. It's Morristown, Tennessee.
I think it's out
April
towards
28th through 29th.
Out towards Knoxville, right? I think so.
Yes, as far as you know. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. You can go on a Bigfoot hunt.
Damn.
Yep.
Oh my God. That is like my dream.
Oh boy.
Yep. You know who Turtle Man is?
Oh hell yeah.
He's gonna be there.
Eric. Not like that was our show growing up. Between River Monsters, Ancient Aliens, and Turtle Man, that's like the rotation.
Yep. Turtle Man's gonna be there.
Holy shit. I've been heard from Turtle Man in so long.
He's going to these is what he's doing.
Yeah, speaking about aquatic animals.
Adam Davies from Monster Quest is gonna be there.
Oh yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. Be good to transfer over to Tartaria for a few.
Yes.
Tartaria.
So, Aaron, do you know anything about Tartaria?
I don't believe so.
Okay. So I'll try to sum it up, and you can help me. I'll sum up the conspiracy. Yeah. So
because I know all about it.
In general, there's this conspiracy that there was a highly advanced civilization that had this network of free energy devices. So, like, have you ever seen like the Tesla coil or Anything about Tesla's free energy?
Yeah, one of you guys sent a video of that.
Yeah,
and it
so-
like wrapped around the tree.
Yeah.
Okay.
So they were there's claims that this society had technology to gain energy from the atmosphere.
Okay.
So didn't have to use coal, whatever, gasoline, whatever. So they claim that this society was super advanced and that it was destroyed by a mud flood, and that it was systematically covered up by the civilizations, the European empires that we know now in the history books.
Okay.
And one of the, or I should say, the main sort of building block of the conspiracy is all of these old buildings that have this ornate architecture.
Like the Chrysler Building. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Or like the Singer Building, apparently, is
Okay.
another one. And they had these massive domes, like really intricate brickwork. The World's Fairs are another thing that they think were like some sort of cover up of this civilization.
It's described as the QAnon conspiracy theory of the architectural world.
Okay.
Yeah. So you can obviously go down a bunch of rabbit holes. You can go down this fact that there was some sort of mud flood, some sort of cataclysmic event that destroyed and buried a bunch of these old.
Well, that I'm on board with 100%.
And kind of along that vein, they look at these old buildings and they find ones that are that have the bottom portion of them buried, but they've been dug out, and so you can see the marks of where the mud flood buried them, and then they were rebuilt.
Okay.
And so that's kind of in general.
It's supposed to be an Asian society, back in the day, whenever that was. All of Asia was called Tartaria, and so when they're referencing Tartaria, they're talking about it was some Asian.
And so there is an actual ethnic group that lives in modern day Russia called the Tartars.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
And so there is an ethnic group. It goes back to when the Mongols sort of were doing their whole thing and conquering and ingesting ethnic groups.
Okay.
And so like Sandman just said, it used to be a blanketed term for that Central Asian, Kazakhstan, kind of upper Asia portion. But it's transformed into this, like I said, world, hidden world society.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And what is the modern day implication if it was true? Just that there was a society prior, a people prior to us, or
but they had this advanced technology.
Yeah. And architects are stealing their shit.
Yeah.
Kind of, I think.
okay.
So one of the portions that I think is a good point doesn't necessarily point to this advanced ancient civilization, at least in Tartaria. But they had all these ornate buildings in Europe, end of the 1800s, early 1900s. There was a lot of really nice architecture. There were also these World's Fairs. There's one in Knoxville, there's one in St. Louis, and they built all these crazy nice buildings for these World's Fairs.
Okay.
But then they knocked them down 20, 30 years after they were built. And so people are why? What was the point here?
Okay.
You built all these crazy things, and then you just knocked them down.
Did you know that Nashville hosted a World's Fair?
I did not.
You know where the Parthenon is?
Uh-huh.
That's where the World's Fair was, and that's why the Parthenon was built.
Oh, it was built there?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Interesting.
Left over from the World's Fair.
Yeah.
So not all of the buildings were knocked down.
Not all of them.
What was done at these?
At these World's Fairs?
Yeah.
It was a showcase of...
Why would they need really nice buildings? Just because they can?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I guess, I don't really know.
That's actually a great question. I don't know why they needed such
question.
nice buildings.
Why don't you look that up and tell us about it? Report on that the next time we get together.
Okay.
I don't know.
Double spaced. At least 5,000 words.
Okay.
One of
I can do that.
One of the points was made.
APA format.
Yeah, exactly. One of the points is made in this article I found on Bloomberg. Is that they built all these nice buildings, but they ended up not being sufficient for what was needed in like the 60s and 70s. So they just demolished them and then built these. A lot of these modern buildings are disgusting looking.
So the World's Fair, I don't know if it was an every year thing or if it was like every 4 year or every other year or whatever. I used to know at one point in time, but anyway, I digress. So the World's Fair was basically to highlight like modern technologies and speculate about where the future is going to go. And it was a big deal because everybody from all over the world participated in it, scientists and all that other sorts of stuff. And so a lot of them were building structures to showcase their attractions.
Okay.
And a lot of it was building structures so you can come in and we can charge you money to look at what we built.
Okay.
That was in
kind of like the county fairs and stuff today. There were rides and all that other sorts of stuff, just on a way much
that was
grander
in Chicago.
scale.
There was one in Chicago.
Yeah, Chicago.
In 1893. Yeah.
And was no one like questioning the fact that these buildings looked like this?
Well, back then, that's what buildings looked like.
Yeah.
One, because labor was cheap and you could build these
Got it.
massive buildings. There were a ton of immigrants wanting to work.
Right.
And that's another thing they say. They said labor was so cheap back
Right.
then that you could.
Yep.
I mean, I'm sure these people were working like 16, 18-hour days.
You look showing the Chicago World's Fair there.
Yeah.
You ever heard of H.H. Holmes?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The serial killer, yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
That was where
Devil in the White City.
Yeah, you read the book?
I have.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
There
yeah.
you go. Love it.
Insane stuff if you haven't
Aaron?
read that book.
I've never read it, but I've watched stuff on him.
Okay.
Yeah.
You should read it.
I know I'm a slow reader.
Oh.
Yeah. I think I missed that part of in my education.
You missed that part. You were out sick the day they taught reading in school.
I don't know how I'm here. Honestly.
So another...
That's awesome.
It's true. I witnessed it.
Yeah.
So another crazy one that people who believe in the Tartaria conspiracy are into. They say that World War II was the accumulation of a global effort to eradicate all signs of Tartaria.
What?
Yeah. So all the Allied bombings of like Germany, wherever,
So Hitler was trying to destroy Tartaria when he
Hitler
was.
and the Allies were all trying to.
So
destroy
everybody
Tartaria.
involved in World War II, the Japanese, everybody that bombed shit was.
Well, I mean, think about it. If there's an ancient world civilization that you don't want anyone to know about, World War would be the perfect way
Let's
to
just
destroy
have
everything.
a world war.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's kill a bunch of people just to cover that up. And that makes
Exactly.
perfectly good sense.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, yeah.
What was that thing a video you sent me the other day about the bombs in World War II and like places they hit should have been more damaged than they were? Do you remember that?
I don't. No, I don't.
Another thing I will report back on.
Yeah.
It was wild.
I mean, we did flatten German cities, like completely destroy them.
I think it was
Yeah.
it was not places in Europe though. I don't think.
Other
So much of
places.
German architecture that doesn't go past World War II.
Yeah. Oh, I know what you're talking about. Yes, it was. So it was the atomic bombs, and it was showing. It was showing video. It was showing pictures of Hiroshima after the bomb dropped, and there were still trees standing.
Yeah.
And
Okay.
people and conspiracy theorists are like, well,
How?
if an atomic bomb dropped and everything was destroyed in a 1 mile radius, like there shouldn't be trees standing, but there are. I don't know.
Do they know that those trees were there when the bomb was dropped?
Yeah,
It was right after.
Literally,
There was pictures right after.
Yeah, I mean, you can tell it's right after. Yeah.
Look, I'm sure everyone who's a conspiracy theorist about that is a nuclear scientist, so they should know what they're talking about.
100%.
Yeah.
I mean, from my simpleton mind, I think, oh yeah, if a nuclear bomb's drop, it's.
I mean, it does stand to reason, but there's. I mean,
I'm sure there's an explanation.
Yeah.
There has to be.
I mean,
there has to be. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, there's no. As far as I'm concerned, there should be no conspiracy theory of if an atomic bomb was dropped. You know, I mean,
Yeah.
No,
Yeah,
it's kind of just ask some people who's, there's still some people around who lived through it. I'm sure.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't know, maybe not, or maybe they're going to live to 900 years old because they're radiated. Who knows?
That's a good point. That's a good point.
Hey, you look like you're 20. I can't help it, dude. Hiroshima, man.
Yeah, exactly. Well, yeah, that's all. That's kind of all I got. I mean, I guess it's sort of like, historical trends, because a lot of the historical architecture is not built anymore. Like, the buildings that are built today are very monolithic.
Yeah,
You know, they're squared off. There's no intricate work. There's no columns.
Well, if you think about it, the buildings that are built, there's a whole lot more restrictions on how buildings can be built, because it has to be, if it's going to be over such and such thing, it has to withstand this and it has to withstand that, and winds and earthquakes and blah 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 and all this sorts of stuff.
Yeah.
And they weren't thinking about stuff like that back then. They were just like, I want to build the world's tallest building and I want some ornate architecture stuff in there.
But it's crazy though, because like a lot of the Roman architecture is like still standing 2,000 years later. I mean, the aqueducts are still standing. The Colosseum's still standing. Now, granted, we've helped it, but the structure as a base is still standing. So
I went to some Roman baths in
Yeah.
the city of Bath, and
yeah,
they're still
it's still there.
pretty well preserved. Like almost like what it was.
Yeah,
Except that they wouldn't let you get in the water because it's like contaminated now or something.
that's unfortunate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have gotten in anyway because I didn't have a swimsuit. So
The mermaid was
I
in
think
there.
they were
It
nude.
was-
Yeah, the mermaids were in there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
the mud people. What were they called? The mud maids.
The Mermaids.
The mud maids, yeah.
Maybe that's where they went.
Yeah.
We need
I
a
be-
bath,
I
so we're going to
believe
bath. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
I don't think there's much to it. It's fascinating.
Yeah, who starts these things? That's what I want to know.
The internet does.
I'm not intrigued by it.
I'm not either.
I am intrigued by it because I love old architecture. And
I do too, but
Yeah.
I have zero interest in this. I'm sorry.
Oh, I love. I'll entertain it for sure. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, you entertain it, and
Okay. I'll entertain
feel free
myself.
Feel free to talk about it anytime.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. You'll indulge me.
I'll just I'll indulge you.
Good. Any closing thoughts?
Yeah. I don't like the Tartaria
Okay.
conspiracy theory. In case I didn't say that earlier.
Yeah.
Okay. There are so many incidents of all kind of weird sea creatures that we didn't even get into.
Facts. Yep.
I don't know about the existence of them. I think a lot of them are just legends, stories meant to teach lessons from
Yeah.
back in the day. Stuff about, like how your parents will tell you, you gotta, if you don't do such and such, the boogeyman will get you or whatever. And, little Jimmy down the street didn't do such and such and, whatever. But I think a lot of that stuff, that's where our legends from mermaids and other sea serpents come from. That and misidentification of stuff. That's probably the big one, is misidentification, and then someone invents some sort of weird story because they saw something they couldn't understand. And, well, I'm just gonna, it has to be this. I'm gonna say it was this.
Yep.
I think that's where a lot of the myths and the legends come from. I'm not poo-pooing the idea that there could be some sort of something out there.
Yep.
I don't see how a mermaid can exist if we're talking about the traditional mermaid with the human top half and the fish bottom half under the water and all that stuff. It doesn't make sense. Now, if they had a fish top half, now we're talking gills, breathing in the water. I can get down with that.
Yeah, I will agree from the traditional sense. I think it would have to be a complete full body mix of fish human.
Yeah.
Like you can't just split it in half and be like bottom fish, top human.
Or Creature from the Black Lagoon type deal.
Exactly.
Yeah,
exactly.
now I'm down with that.
Yeah.
That's my favorite Universal monster.
Yeah, he's a good monster.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yep, I'm with you on that one.
My closing thoughts are when I was in second grade, my teacher read our class's story of a boogeyman type thing.
Okay.
I don't know why, but I was scarred for like an entire year of my life.
Wow.
And I was so small and I didn't understand that it was, again, like trying to teach a story. But I vividly remember that night, I went home, got in the shower, and thought he or it was outside my shower.
Oh my goodness.
And that is where my love for this
That's where it
content began.
Wow. Shout out to your teacher.
Yeah. What a cool teacher.
Damn.
What are you going to do? I think I'm going to scare the shit out of my students
Scare the
today.
shit out of these kids, yeah.
Yep, I remember that class so vividly for that very reason. Lastly, I think if we're talking about sea creatures, it's usually probably a misidentification of something.
Yeah, for sure.
Especially like if you're out on the water, I feel like things are distorted, or it's just there are some gnarly fish and stuff, like our river monsters guy. Like that proves that. So I do think that's what it is. I'm more all about outer space. So this is something that, I'm not going to lose sleep over. But if it is something, I would say it's a misidentification or water aliens.
Water aliens. USOs.
Yep. You got it. Like I said, Tartaria, I like to indulge it. Don't necessarily believe it, but it's an interesting rabbit hole.
I mean, the architecture is beautiful architecture is something that is interesting because I don't feel like we see it a lot over in America.
We don't see it in America. You still see it in England. Like when I was in London, there's definitely some old stuff there. Yeah, but you're right. U.S., not a lot of old stuff.
No. So it is interesting, but
yeah. I think I would second the mermaid comments from everybody, and I'm going to go drive up to Louisville and see if I can spot some mudmaids in the Ohio River. And see what happens.
We should do it.
Yeah.
Field trip,
baby.
Yeah.
Yep.
We should vlog.
Vlog on
Just like
mudmaids.
Yeah, we could be like the Finding Bigfoot people. Did they
Let's
ever
do it.
Did they ever? And there was all like
All
cameras
selfie
on their
stuff, yeah.
heads and stuff. Like we could do that easy.
That's true.
Sure. Let's
Yep.
do it. Let's
Hunt
get
for the
some-
mermaids.
I've got a GoPro.
Sandman, you remember that? App? What was that called? Where you like put in
Randonautica.
Randonautica.
I still have it on my phone. I haven't used it in forever.
Yeah, that shit was.
What is that?
That shit was popular. Yeah, I don't think she knows about Randonautica. Yeah, you used it. I never used it.
It's freaky.
It's weird.
freaky.
It's very strange.
So it's just this app that you have it on your phone, and before you use the app, trying to remember how this was done.
Me too.
You concentrate really hard and put out into the universe like something you like want to see, like a red door.
Right.
Or the color red, let's say. And then you turn on the Randonautica app and you do the little thing, and it takes you get in your car, and it tells you drive to this location and then turn to here, and it takes you to random spots, and somewhere at the end of your journey, you're supposed to see something that's very similar to, like if you were like imagine something red, and at the end of your journey you pull up into. I think that was what my wife and I did. Was we were thinking she wanted to see something red because that's one of her favorite colors, and it drove us all around, and we wound up in some random neighborhood, and it told we went to exactly where it says, and we're like, okay, we're here, and look around, and there's a house with a red door. And it's supposed to somehow pick up on your,
like, read your mind.
Your intention, yeah.
Your intent, yeah. It's the intent. It's the intent behind it. And that may not be exactly it. It's been so long since I've done it, but that's the gist of it.
The website says, Randonautica puts you in the director's chair of an adventure yet to be written. Break from your mundane day-to-day and take a journey of randomness into the world around you. Set your intention. Your mind is your guide as you observe and view the world differently.
It's I think really it's more about getting out and making people get out and have an adventure.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
And then it's up to you at the end of your journey to interpret because you can read anything into anything. If your intent was, I want to see, a black and white puppy or something like that, and at the end of your journey you're there and there's no puppy, but you see someone has a mailbox painted like a black and white cow or something.
Right.
Well, there it is, so it's a lot more about how you're going to interpret the end of your journey. But it's fun, and it is kind of freaky. Like I said, my wife was like, want to see something red, or I can't remember, it was something red, and so we went out, and end of our journey, house with a red door, boom.
Yeah.
Yeah, people were going viral on TikTok because they were like getting really, for lack of a better term, dark with it.
Yeah, some people said they found like dead bodies or shit, something like that.
Who knows?
Yeah.
But
Interesting.
that's how it started to blow up.
Okay.
Yeah. During COVID, right? Yeah, I ain't got nothing else to do.
Right.
It was like a dark version of Pokemon Go almost. People were just like,
I don't know anything about that, but I'll take your word for it.
Oh, yeah.
I'll take your word for it, 100%. 100%.
So,
You guys want me to blow your mind?
What's that?
Can I blow your mind?
Yeah.
I don't know if I'm allowed to say this, but I'm going to. So we're talking about conspiracy theories and how people invent conspiracy theories and everything.
Yeah.
I have a conspiracy theory.
Let's hear it.
Bruce Springsteen. You know who Bruce Springsteen is, right?
Yep.
Okay. All right. He's a pedophile.
Wow.
And he admits it.
Really? Like on interviews and stuff?
A song. Hey, little girl, is your daddy home? Did he go and leave you all alone? Oh.
Wow.
I got a bad desire. Whoa, whoa, whoa. I'm on fire. Boom. Pedophile. He admits it right there.
I mean, the lyrics are very suggestive to that. I'm not a huge Bruce Springsteen fan.
Neither am I, because he's a pedophile.
Yeah, I know about nothing about him, but...
Did you hear this, or did it just, like, hit you one day?
No, I was listening to the song, and I'm like, dude.
Yeah.
He's admitting it right there. It's a conspiracy theory I've had in my head for many years now. I'm like, he's like just pretty much saying it.
I mean, it wouldn't be the first time Hollywood got caught with underage children.
But, I'm kind of like half kidding on that. But back when that song was popular, which we're talking 80s.
Yeah.
Getting full circle. It was literally a different time back then.
Yeah.
It was popular in music for the guys to talk about hooking up with young chicks, and no one thought a thing about it.
Yeah.
I mean, Kip Winger and his band Winger, hard rock band, they had a song called 17. And he was talking about she's only 17, but she's everything I need.
Oh my God.
Girl, she gives me love like I've never seen. That's the lyrics to the song.
Wow,
he can't perform that song today. That was one of his biggest hits, and he can't sing it.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
I mean, I'm sure he can, but
you don't
change up the lyrics a little bit, dude.
Mm-hmm. Just change it to 18. Like that's all you need to do.
Put it in the 20s, man.
Yeah. Jeez.
But yeah, it was a different time. But,
it was, for sure.
But yeah, so that's my Bruce Springsteen conspiracy theory. Please don't sue me, Bruce. I'm only kidding.
I'm sure he's gotten crap for that.
Yeah.
Never know.
I don't know.
I mean, Pizzagate and all that sorts of stuff,
An entirely different rabbit hole you could go down. One that takes you. It's a dark one. Yeah. It's a dark one.
Why is it though that when you have all of these like insanely popular conspiracy theories, when it comes to politics, especially, that it always involves pedophilia, little children, and cannibalism? What is it about that?
That's a good point.
Because I don't understand that. It's the same thing. We're just calling it a different conspiracy theory.
Well, I mean, I think it. To add to that list, I think it comes to this occult adrenochrome harvesting, that whole thing.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, the general conspiracy is that the elites have these kids that they put through these occult rituals. They scare them to where the body releases this adrenochrome, and then they drink their blood. And they stay young. They're able to stay young, stay healthy, stay vital.
But there's also all the pedophilia and, having sex with underage kids and stuff. And I mean, I don't get it. I don't get it.
Well, I mean, the Greeks were open about having sex with children and homosexual relationships.
About the Greeks.
But I'm just saying, it actually happened. So why would it not happen today?
Centuries ago.
But why would it not happen today?
Yeah.
Because it's illegal.
When has that stopped anybody?
Especially politicians.
Yeah, exactly.
I see what you're saying.
Yeah, and I'm not saying it's true. I'm just saying it has happened.
I totally understand that, but I just don't understand why, all of these, anytime you have a conspiracy theory that's associated with politics.
Yeah.
It always has to involve those three things. Those are the three required elements to have a political conspiracy theory. It seems
that is true. I will agree.
Except for the Clinton sides thing. Now that's not a conspiracy theory. That's gospel. People die.
Yeah, the list of Clintons. Yeah.
It's horrible.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
That is a strange one, and it's a great point because it does revolve around those three.
Yeah. And I don't understand why. And you could look at it. On the other hand, though, playing devil's advocate here, and you're saying, okay, well, if there's different conspiracy theories, but they all have these elements in common, then maybe there's something to it.
I mean, look, there usually is at least something in a conspiracy theory that...
There's a grain of truth in every conspiracy theory.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And it's just got to pick out that vein, and then... Because, I mean, there have been politicians caught with underage kids.
Oh, yeah.
Every decade. So,
yeah.
I mean, there's fucking weirdos out there that somehow get in political office. So,
I mean, look at our esteemed lieutenant governor here in Tennessee.
Yeah, it's everywhere.
When there's no accountability for people, it's one of the biggest things in human history. In every situation where someone has power over other people, there's no one to hold them accountable. People will do anything.
Yeah. And I don't care what your intentions are when you get into politics. You have to be a very, very strong person to resist the corruption.
Oh, for sure.
Because when you have people that just start throwing money and women or whatever at you, eventually you're gonna crack. Eventually, you're gonna crack.
I think the argument is: do you get to that high level without being corrupted?
Absolutely not.
Absolutely not. Even can you? Are you able to get to that high level? And I don't think there's any way you're able to get to that high level without being corrupted. Yeah, it's just not possible. The system is too complex, and maybe at one time there was a way to get there with not being corrupted.
Well,
but
even from its very beginnings, our government has been it's had corruption in it. I mean, George Washington had a quote, and I can't remember it verbatim, but he was talking about Congress, and basically he said, and this is the first president of the United States now, he said that Congress is too concerned with their petty little infighting and trivial pursuits of a personal nature versus the great scheme of running the government. And that was 200 years ago.
Yeah, it's still the
and
same.
Never has it been more true than now. But we should really do I try to stay away from politics,
for sure.
Believe it or not. But man, George Soros, dude, we really need to do a deep dive.
I would love
into
to
this
do that.
dude. I don't think he's capable of telling the truth if it were right in front of him. That is crazy.
Dude, any of those, we touched on this thing a couple weeks ago, the WEF, any of those, the UN even, they don't do anything. And there's always some altered agenda. Yeah.
And Soros is now saying he's supporting a bill that is going to make the AR-15 the national weapon of the United States.
Oh, my God.
Are you serious?
Yep.
I'm pretty sure that guy is just concerned about wreaking havoc wherever he goes.
He doesn't give a shit.
No, it doesn't. I mean, nothing's ever going to affect him.
No.
Yeah.
But I turned it in political talk. I'm sorry.
That's okay.
No one pays us to talk politics on this show. Wait a minute. No one pays us to start off with. I'm sorry.
Yeah, no one pays us. Not for this.
Not for this. Not for this. No. I get paid for other stuff.
Yeah.
I get paid to go sit in my office and do that.
By the
Full
government.
circle.
Yeah.
Yep. By the
Full circle.
government.
There we go.
Well, good stuff, guys. Always good when we bring Sandman in the studios. Always a great
love
time.
it.
Yes,
I love it.
Yes, love it. So yeah, that's all we got for y'all today. You can catch us on Twitter at World We Live Pod. Email us at worldweliveinpodcast@gmail.com. Follow us on Facebook, World We Live In Podcast. Catch us on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts. Anywhere where you listen. Spotify, we should be there. So Spotify, yeah. And hope you had a good time. We'll talk to you next time. And until then, have a good one.
Deuces.
Peace.